Alright, today we're doing Chapter 3, Section 2, and it's Algebraic Expressions and Equations. So algebraic, basically it's algebra with an IC at the end, and then expressions and equations. And I'm going to just define these things. So I'm going to do my algebraic expressions kind of on the left-hand side of my notes, and then I'll do the equations over here on the right-hand side of my notes. And one final comment, and we're done. So really short notes for today. An expression is really just going to be like 5 plus 2 or something like that. Algebra has variables in it. So an algebraic expression is going to kind of be a combination of those things. So it's an expression, kind of a combination of numbers and variables. And it's going to be those variables that takes the expression and makes it an algebraic expression. So maybe do a couple examples. That'll probably help. So if we were to do like a 5x or an x plus 2 or 3x minus 5y, so those would all be examples of algebraic expressions. For an equation, often in class, I've talked about an equation, kind of has that equa in it, equal. So an equation has to have an equal sign. And usually I just tell people it's going to be something equals something. So something equals something. I suppose technically now that we have this expression, an algebraic expression, you could say it's an expression, maybe I'll just abbreviate, so it's going to be an expression equals an expression, something like that. So for example, you could say, x equals 7 would be an example of an equation. Or you could do 4x plus 7y equals 19 or something like that. Those would be examples of equations. There's an equal side and there's a math expression on either side. The last thing you probably know, so you could choose whether you want to copy it down or not, but just make sure you know what's going on. That when the book talks about evaluate, you've seen evaluate in your homework. So often they'll say like, hey, evaluate this, and the example might be something like 5x. Actually, in the past at least, maybe I should say this. So in the book, you've had the book tell you to evaluate things in the past, and often maybe there'll be something like 4 times 5 plus 7, and I'm going to leave a little gap in my parentheses. So when they say evaluate, they basically just mean find the number answer. Because now we're kind of turning the corner and doing more with algebra. Often you'll see that they'll have an x like that in there, and then they'll say, okay, here's the x value, now evaluate it. So when they give you something like that and they say, all right, x is going to be 2, what they want you to do is they want you to take that 2 and say, all right, my x value is 2, so I put my 2 in there for x, then I'm going to work through and find my answer. So I'd have 4 times 5 plus 7 times 2. So then I have to work inside the parentheses first doing my order of operations, but I have to multiply before I add. So I get a 5 plus 14 and 4 times that. So I get a 4 times a 19. So then I end up getting a 76. So for that right there, we just evaluated the expression. If you want to, you could write, so you substitute numbers for variables, and find what it equals. That's it for today. I think with that you should be able to master the section.